Hey there, Matt.
Hello,
Hey, how's it going?
hello.
It's going well yourself?
Doing well, doing well.
Awesome. So, welcome to the pre-show. We'd love to have you on. Um, of course, you are a member of Universe's Academy. For our listeners who haven't seen your content yet, how about you let them know what you and the boys are all about?
Sure. So with Universes Academy, kind of our goal is to be your one-stop shop for everything you need for Universes. So we have a YouTube channel where we release a podcast weekly. We also have that RSS feed for that. We have a website that has character breakdowns. It has metadata. It has articles that we post weekly for different deck lists, things like that as well. Um, so we're kind of all over the place trying to create as much content as we can for the game.
Yeah, 100. I mean, I love your podcast. I watch it all the time. I think it's very insightful. You guys give some great look through as to how players should be looking at the game, but also with that bevy of experience. In terms of universes as a whole, how much experience do you think would you say across the board you guys have with the game itself prior to the MHAO?
So I've personally been playing since Penny Arcade came out, which is like the first set.
Woo!
So that's like 15 years or so probably. Um, and then Ryan and John both played back in what would be now considered Legacy, so like Block 1, Block 2. And then by the time Jasco got the game, as it changed ownership a few times, they ended up kind of dropping out at different points along then and came back and played. And now with MHA, they're all on board again. And we're really trying to get it going.
Man, what's the origin story? How did the three of you get connected? Are you guys part of the same local play group, or how did you guys become friends and co-casters or co-creators?
Yeah, so we're actually all we live in the same part of South Carolina, and we've been friends for 20 plus years. Played card games together, kind of growing up and stuff. So Universes ended up being like kind of one of our favorite card games amongst the three of us. So yeah, we used to have a pretty strong play group locally, and then over the years, like I said, kind of dwindled down, and I just couldn't give up on it. So when this came around, I was like, guys, you gotta get back in.
Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, 100%. So MHAO has seen a big revitalization of the game in the sense of, an reflux in of older players, and influx in of new players. And I guess, now that the game's been out for a couple of months and we're seeing that all these things coming out with like organized play and kind of at least a vision of where the card game's going, how have you and the guys felt about the My Hero format and the card game as it's been going?
Oh, absolutely. So I think overall, total positivity. Like it's really exciting to see like the invite only kind of worlds, the prize pool. It is a little different from if you played all universes where you could win the greatest prize in gaming, which is like immortalizing yourself in cardboard. That was a really cool prize as well. But cash doesn't hurt either. I mean, you could probably just buy and make your own if you really wanted to. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, like I think the fact that like consistently Jasco's delivering on the things that they said they're going to deliver on, and that's really important. And I think that a lot of credit should be given for that. Like it's one thing to kind of like our Fields Guitar Pod this week. We're talking about the provisional promos and some people's complaints about how you obtain them, things like that. But they've addressed all those things. They're doing it in a timely manner. And even further, I'm just really glad that OP is starting up here in like a week and a half.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me as a player. Like I'm a player first before all things, and I think having organized play set up, ready to go, has been something that we've seen as a priority, just to make sure that players have something to play towards, have something to get ready for, and just I'm a competitive guy, and if I get to sit down across the table from another guy and just be like, I'm gonna beat you, like it's just that competitive back and forth that you're like, yeah, okay, and I know that my opponent in front of me is thinking that exact same thing, and I just having the stage set so that players are able to do that again was such a big priority, and I'm so happy that that's launched and kickstarted. So 100% with you on that one.
And to your point, like the community for this game historically, that's the reason I've played for 15 years. This card game has an amazing community. Sure, it's grown a whole lot with this new MHA only format, but in general, I think that's the biggest draw to me. Like the game's fun. I love the game too, but if the community hadn't been what it is, I definitely wouldn't have stuck with it over those years.
Yeah, actually, I remember one of the episodes where you and the other guys were discussing about how the game was growing, and you guys, you could really feel the strong sense of what the UVS community was for such a long time. I myself am a player who always knew that UVS existed, but it very much lived at like with the strength of that community is what kept it alive for so incredibly long. And I heard you harp about how like you just hope the community stays that strong, positive, strength that it was previously. And I totally agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I mean, I have friends from all across the world that I've made through playing this card game. And I don't use the term friends lightly. They're not just acquaintances. I have acquaintances that I've made playing this card game as well. But I mean, people that like I share life stories with and things that are really important to me in life. And I'm not the anomaly. Like, that's the vast majority of us old veteran players who stuck with it, you're staying for those years. And it's not just because we stuck with it. It's just because that's the sense of community. Like, when we get to start having some in-person events, you're gonna feel that. It's amazing.
Man, what's your message to all of the new players coming into the community, that who may not have or the 15 years of experience or all the great stories, but are excited to kind of make new memories.
Sure, it's welcome. We're glad to have you. The game has a really steep learning curve, and that's honestly what my driving motive was when we kind of started University Academy. Is that I know that, and it's an intimidating thing to get started. So I was like, I want to make some resources so people can have these things if they need them, because I didn't know what the rest of the community would do. People are skeptical because money can change things. But I'm personally holding out hope that that isn't the case, and that we can just be the same awesome community we've always been. Just this time we're playing for some money instead of playing for some cardboard.
Yeah,
Cool.
100%. I totally agree. That's a phenomenal message. And if anything, I look forward to seeing what this evolves into. And we mentioned it before in the cast, but especially once OP kicks off, it's going to be interesting to see, the storylines between the old guards versus the new blood, and just kind of seeing like, that rivalry bounce back and forth, and seeing who's able to cinch the top spots in tournaments and all that. So if anything, as a bystander and someone who's going to be looking within a topside view of the tournaments, I'm super excited to see what everyone ends up how everything lines out, and how the community kinds of lines up in terms of maybe alliances, and how things pan out in terms of gameplay. And it's fun. It's honestly really exciting to see how it's going to evolve. So we're jumping into Crimson Rampage. New sets coming out. Spoilers, and you guys looking at the cards, and we've had a number of reveals for the next couple of weeks. So to kind of bring it back a little bit, is there anything that's piqued your eye, a little excitement based on what we've shown so far?
Yeah. So I got personally pretty excited about the new Ida. Ryan and I sat down and saw it, and we're like, what's his response do? That he can literally EX every attack. Like, he gets one momentum, and then every attack he plays, he's getting that replay. So like, all his attacks just add, anywhere probably from 2 to 3 speed just for free. I think that's really cool. Thematically and mechanically will be good. I also think the new Uraraka looks really interesting, because without seeing support, it's hard to gauge exactly, but in a vacuum, I think she looks really cool. Stain seems really strong as well. And then, of course, my boy Midoriya. I mean, he's up in his game. It looks like set 2, he's coming with it. So
he learned a few tricks.
Yeah, he's hitting real hard. He's getting close to those All Might numbers, it looks like.
Yeah.
What are your predictions for the upcoming provisionals? You think it'll be Kirishima, the big bad, or who's taking it down?
So, I mean, like, the safe bet is definitely Kirishima, right? So the thing is that if you're going to play Kirishima, and this is something that old UFS players know at this point, and I'll share with everyone else, is that, all right, well, there's no diversity, and we're not going to dive into diversity, but before that meant you didn't only had to really worry about the Kirishimas through Swiss, not top cuts, right? Well, now you're going to have to worry about it all day. So you're either going to play that, you have to play the mirror matchup all day if you want to play Kirishima and take that kind of what's known as the elephant in the room kind of good character, or you better play something that has at least a 50-50 with Kirishima. So I don't know. I mean, like, I think the safe bet is Kirishima, but at the same time, I think there's some decks in the format right now that can definitely deal with him. Like you guys were talking about earlier on the show, Bromley piloted that Shoto deck to a second place finish because it had good matchups against Kirishima, and he knew that's what he was going to play a lot of. So there are things in there that can deal with it. So yeah, that's it's either going to be Kirishima, or it's going to be one of those kind of dark horse decks that just kind of deals with Kirishima well enough, because I think that's what you're going to play mostly throughout the day.
Yeah,
Matt,
I 100%.
Sorry, what now?
Are you signed up yet?
Oh, yes, I will be playing.
Will you be broadcasting today what deck you're going to play?
Oh, I'm not playing tonight. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about. Oh, you want me to tell you what I'm going to play? So I'm not actually.
Oh, you're not signed up. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm not signed up for tonight. I'm signed up for the.
I talked about the provisionals.
Yeah, the provisional I am signed up for. I'm sorry. Yeah, I misunderstood.
All right. Would you like to broadcast to the world who you're going to win with?
So yeah, who I'm going to win with. So I definitely like All Might. version 3 a lot, the Gen Con All Might. I did it a weekly, made 3-0 with that once. That's probably my favorite deck in the format right now. But that being said, I gotta get in some more reps against Kirishima to really see how I feel about that, because most of my games against Kirishima and those weeklies were really close. But I think, like I said, I think there's some other decks that I might just play Kirishima, right? If I can't figure out a way to beat him, just join him. I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. There's something to say about population size, right? I mean, a lot of people are probably thinking that, it's the de facto, and there's a reason for that, right? He's consistency. He's going to see the cards that he needs to see. And at that point, you just need to weigh your options. And of course, it works two ways, right? You can't beat him 100% Jordan because he's consistency, and then you can just rely on your skill as a pilot to be able to mitigate the mirror matches. Or you can recognize that, hey, if my deck just runs 4 irrefutable forces of nature and a bunch of cards that just stops everything that he does, and then I can hedge my other matchups, then maybe I can get there too. And the sideboard, gives you a little bit of wiggle room to be able to mitigate for those non-Kirishima matchups and try and, mitigate for the rest of the format for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the calculus that people are trying to figure out with the meta, right? Like those are your two options. So yeah, someone far smarter than me will probably figure it out, but that's the way I'm preparing for it, at least.
Awesome. Well, the rounds are about to kick off, but we'll give you a last little platform, Matt. Is there anything that you'd like to shout out to the world or let people know? Or, you're very much welcome to give yourself a little bit of self-promo as well as you'd like before we thank you very much and send you on your way.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, definitely, if you haven't seen any of our content before, it's Universes Academy. We have a Facebook and a YouTube and our website, universesacademy.org, which will direct you to all the other stuff as well. So definitely check those out if you haven't. Best of luck to everyone playing tonight. And yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. And thank you so much for that. It was great.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we loved having you on, and honestly, look forward to talking to not only yourself but the rest of your content creator teammates. And we'd love to have you on again to have more of a roundabout talk for sure. So we look forward to talking to you once again.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Thanks for coming on, Matt.
See you guys. Have a good one.
All right. Have a good one. All right. Awesome. That was a great chat. That was super dope. It was some good insight. And yeah, honestly, a lot of what he was saying definitely resonated with kind of the competitive mind space you kind of have to be at when you're thinking about how am I going to tackle a meta? How am I going to deal with what is probably going to be the most popular deck? And then, am I just going to be the best Kirishima pilot, or am I just going to beat Kirishima? And there's a multitude of ways to think about that. And I'm really excited to see how players are going to pick that side of the fence when we get into the provisionals.
Yeah, and the people should really check out their content. They spend a lot of good brain matter on talking about different aspects of the game. So if you're looking to improve and from some veteran players, I think that everybody should check them out.
Yep, 100%. But with that said, round 1 is kicking off. We're gonna go ahead and look through the tables really quick. Just try to find a match. So give us a moment, guys. We're gonna go ahead and look for some tables, find you guys an appropriate match, and then we'll be right there with round 1. So just give us a moment. We'll be right back.